What are some of the chronic and long-term effects, whether it's been drinking or, the glass of wine a day for years?
This is where it gets difficult to describe, like, are we actually losing life years, or is a little bit of drinking helpful? And this is where some of the evolution in the understanding of how these things have occurred recently, especially. For a long time, we heard in the news that, like, glass of wine a day is good. It's good for your heart, right?
Yep.
And then that came from some of the older literature where they're just looking at cohorts. And of course, people are just taking surveys. And then you look at, well, how long do they live? Like, what kind of cardiac events have happened to them? And like, what did they say they drank? And you can get an idea, assuming that everyone was 100% honest on that survey, right? Which there's no reason that they had to be. And that showed that there's what we call a J effect, where just a little bit of drinking potentially is protective from certain disease processes, right? And that's why they would say that it's healthy, and then your relative risk of having a cardiac event for lower amounts of drinking is good. And it's hard for humans to be like, well, little's good.
Yeah, there's an extrapolation where a rule of thumb gets created based on that information.
Yeah, right.
And then it becomes canon.
Yeah. And then that's easy. Then you hear the thing that you want to hear.
That's the most trios
thing. They said
ever.
A glass of whiskey will
Look
make
at
me live to
social
100.
media. If I look at it, I can be convinced of anything I already think.
And then, so that might be true. And it's been shown a couple of times that you might have a protective effect from cardiovascular effects from, low dose drinking. Usually it's like 1 or less drinks per day for a man or woman. But then the exchange happens too. So maybe your risk of cancer or something else will go up, right? And then that'll cancel out 100% or actually make it way worse because of that drinking, right? And that's been shown subsequently. Again, I'm not going to tell you that we know 100% what the case is, but a lot of the evidence is starting to point towards any alcohol use is probably going to decrease the amount of time that you live. And whether it's like a couple months or a year or many years, there seems to probably be an association with how much you're drinking.